Hey, and welcome to Frenex CS. Today I want to talk about the biggest noob habit of a Python programmer. We all know and love default values for parameters in our Python functions. However, there is a problem with mutable default parameters in these functions because they can behave unexpectedly when the function is called multiple times. When a function is defined with a mutable default parameter, such as a list or a dictionary, for example, that default parameter is created once when the function is created. What do I mean with created? When you start the Python interpreter with your Python file, then every function, which is in fact just an object, because everything in Python is an object, is created. It does not matter if you call this function later on 5 times or only 1 time. Every call to this function will use the same default parameter. That's the issue. Any changes made to this default parameter within the function is persistent to every call in your program. As you can see in the background, we have our function append to list. We have 2 parameters, item and myList. MyList has a default value, namely an empty list. And if you call this function 3 times, you would assume that for each function call, if you don't pass in a list, that we would use at every function call a new empty list and then append 1 single value to that list. However, as I said, since this default parameter is used for every function call in your program, we don't create 3 empty lists and then append 1 single value. We will append 3 times 1 value to that list. Hence, after the 3rd call, our list has 3 values. And this is not what you would expect, or at least this is not what you want from your program. So how can we fix this problem? We can, instead of using this empty list, which is just a mutable type, so a list is a mutable type, as a default value, we can use the default value of none. And then inside our function, we can check if this myList is currently none. If it's the case, then we can create a new empty list that is not global to the function itself, but it's a new empty list for each function call later on. And then we can append a single value. So as a conclusion, never use mutable values as default values for your parameters in a Python function. It's always better to use none, indicating that no value was passed. And then inside the function, we can check if the value is none. If so, we can use or create an empty mutable default type or whatever you want to call this. So this is very important to know. That's all I wanted to say about this. In my opinion, one of the biggest noob habits of upcoming Python programmers, because it's not really obvious that this will be a problem, because a lot of people think that Python is not complex at all. There are not such things like mutable and immutable types. And if you want to know more about mutability and immutability, I have also a great advanced, or let's say intermediate Python course on Udemy. You can look into the video description. There I have a link to all of my English Udemy courses about C, C++, and Python. And then until the next video, have a great day. Bye bye.